Hi, my name is Christina Adams, and this is the place where we talk about God, Christianity, and life. Right now, I'd like to discuss the difference between wants and needs and what we can expect from God's provision. So, in America right now, we have a whole different understanding of what wants and needs are than they would have had back in Bible days. But the things there's some things that we think are wants or needs, and some things that might actually not be, and others that actually are, that we may not necessarily even be considering. For instance, like we know that food is a need. We all need food to survive. However, we don't always need to have 2 weeks worth of food. Really, we just need like the next meal. That's kind of what our actual need is. And so this is why Jesus taught us to pray for our daily bread, not our weekly bread or our monthly bread, but to pray for the things that we need for today, and not necessarily for the things we're expecting to need tomorrow, because God is able to provide for the things that we need tomorrow on that day, and not for him to give it to us now might actually make it ruined or spoiled, if we didn't get it until then, or if we didn't need it until then. So this is something that we can, if we actually think about our lives, what things that we have and we use and we do that we need or versus want, and our wants themselves. So sometimes we can be tricked into thinking that we need the things that we actually want. This is especially true when it comes to things that we feel very connected to, or things that we really, really want to happen, especially. And sometimes, and here's the thing about that too, is that we can't make a want a need. Not by praying for it hard enough or by trying to convince God of it. Like, God knows, he knows the difference between the things we actually need and the things that we just want. And sometimes we can get along without certain certain wants. And sometimes God is being, kind and gracious to us, and he does grant our or give us our wants. But just because he does answer those prayers sometimes. Well, first off, even if he doesn't answer them, we still should pray and ask for them. But even if he doesn't answer them, it doesn't mean that he doesn't love us, or that he loves someone else better, or that he's not being considerate of our perceived needs. But he knows what we actually need, and he's going to give us what we actually need over what we just want. Because here's the thing about wants, is that wants never ever are satisfied. We are always going to want things, and we just never, like, once we have something that we want, we then start to look for another want. When we've eaten one meal, well, now we're thinking about the next. Or when we gone on one vacation, well, now we're thinking about the next. Or if we've gotten one vehicle, well, now suddenly we're thinking about, oh, well, we need a new couch, or oh, we need a new thing for the backyard, or a new lawnmower, or new this or new that. And so we're constantly thinking about other things that we need, or that we think we need, and we really just want to fill all of those wants, but we're just never satisfied by our wants. And God knows this, and that's why he doesn't actually answer a lot of our wants, is because we have to learn how to let our wants go, especially for things that are excessive, or that we just want to use for our own gain. Like, that's kind of what James says in chapter 4, verses 2 and 3, how we tend to, we want things, and so we get upset at others, and we quarrel with them because they have things that we would want, or we wish we had things like that they had. And that's true even for other things, like personalities, or opportunities. And because of those things, like, we want those things, and so then we ask God for them. But then we're asking God because we have different motives for it, and so we're not asking him because we want to make him great. We're asking it because we want to be satisfied with something new. And the constant satisfaction of having new things just leads to becoming bored with the new things that you just had, and then you want other things to fulfill that need. And so rather than just constantly spinning around all the things that we want and the new things that we want, we need to learn how to let some of our wants go and to focus on God, because God is the only thing that can actually satisfy us. Which then takes us to what is a need. Now, a need is something that I I or anyone needs I or anyone must have in order to continue either existence or to continue work or to continue doing what it is that needs to be done. And this can be true of like God's like the work that God has for us, or even the things that we want to be able to do. Sometimes we have actual needs that are great, and it's going to require a lot. Like we need house, or we need you know I don't know, just a whole bunch of things for God to do in order for us to be able to continue doing the thing that we believe God wants us to do. And God knows about those needs, and He can fulfill those needs. But sometimes our needs are small. Like we just need to have a plan, or we need to have some kind of direction, or we need, the the day to work out in a certain way, and or for our attitude to change, something like that. And those are our needs that God can give us in the moment, and He can fulfill our the things that we actually need to have happen. And here's one of the interesting things about needs, though, too, is that needs are not always like what we actually think. Like we can say, well, I need food to get through today. And that may actually not be true. What we actually need is energy. Or we actually need some other kind of, we might not need the amount of food that we think we need. And so God is able to provide for our actual need, despite, the fact that we all tend to think like food or air or water or your relationship in some form. Like some of those are not necessarily needs that have to be fulfilled in the way that we automatically assume they have to be. And God knows the way that they can be fulfilled, and He knows like the core need behind them. So like, if we think that we need food, well, that might be the case, but what do we actually get from food? Well, we get energy, we get the ability to do stuff, and the resources that our body needs. But at the same time, who made our bodies? God did. And God knows how to make a body work, and He knows how to keep a body going. And He can do that without food, which is sort of the beauty behind fasting and such, is that we get to figure out exactly what it means to have God be the source of everything in our lives. So that's just something that I thought was really interesting, is the difference between want and need. So if you can, tell me what you think about the difference between them. How have you ever defined want or need, and what kinds of things, what are some of the ways that you have seen God answer both your wants and your needs? So I'd love to hear about this, and I hope to read your comments down below, and I'll respond. All right, God bless. Bye.